it's your girl Sherry, and welcome back to another episode of a Legit Actually podcast. I am joined by my Bravo Bestie Joey. What's up, Joey?
What's up?
A lot.
Yeah.
So, listen, before we get into it, I will let you guys know tonight is our night. We're recapping The Valley Season 2, Episode 8, The Biggest Snake in the Grass. We're going to get into it, but we have a couple of admin things. So if you're new, welcome. Over here, we do reality TV recaps and pop culture. If you've been over here a few times and you haven't yet, go ahead, child. You need to join the Actualizer family and subscribe. Slide in our comments. Let us know what you thought about the episode. Share with the masses and hit that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we drop this good content. All right, Joey. So, what did you think of last night's episode?
I mean, honestly, The Valley just cannot miss, in my opinion. I just love it. I even oddly love, like, the horrible people. They make, like, really good television. I mean, the show is just a hit for me. Every week. I look forward to it, where I feel like other shows I watch just for the sake of watching.
Right.
I actually enjoy watching The Valley.
I agree. Transparent moment, guys. Last night, I was busy at 9 o'clock. I am sitting down, just also waiting to get diving into The Valley. And y'all, I catch like the tail end. I'm like, whoa. And I text Joe, like, what the? He's like, no, girl, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
So I watched it today. So. But yeah, they had the whole Next Gen NYC that I am not feeling.
Okay, did you watch it?
I did watch it.
Was it not so boring?
It was so boring. At first I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a shot because I really like Brooks Marks. I think that he is, yes, like he could be like the next one, you know, like he could hold his own show down.
Yep.
But some of the rest of them, I was like, are y'all serious?
These like supporting cast characters outside of like the ones that we already knew. I mean, maybe like, no, you know, I'm not going to say because like they're new, because like the Valley people were new and I was in it like right away. They
were great for TV, but they're so boring. I mean, I just, total snooze fest. And then I thought,
well, maybe at how much I liked Ariana Bierman though.
I did. Okay. And y'all give us a minute because we're going to get to The Valley. But what I found intriguing, though, was the fact that Kim calls her for money all the time. I was like, man.
When she ever said, like, you know, she's been on reality TV and she started posting on social media and she started getting branding deals at the age of 14. And then she just like nonchalantly is like, and then my parents stole all my money. I was like, what? What?
Oh, yes. And remember, she was the little one, the little cute one that was like kind of awkward and different, not like Brielle, who was kind of like her mom's clone.
Right.
And well, first of all, she's grown up, very pretty. She's got her little high school boyfriend with her. But I was like, what a shame. What a shame.
And like that was like some tea I was like not ready for in like the premiere episode, let me tell you.
I would say out of the whole first episode, that was that hot tea. I was like, dang.
Kim
I know it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad. Right.
Yeah. Kim is not going to be happy about that.
She is not. But I mean, look, it is what it is, honey.
Sure is. All is fair in reality TV.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, now we're going to get into The Valley. Basically, we open up what they do, their little montage. They were doing little kid moments, y'all. I am obsessed with Isabella Lawley.
She is so cute.
She is adorable. She's like a shrunk down little woman. I mean, she really is. She's like grown. I mean, she's like, I do not want booty cheese, Dad. Like now. Then we get a chance to see Cruz. I think we get to see little Cameron. Janet and Jason, I don't know. We did a kid montage, like I said. I don't know. But I know we saw. Yeah. But they did a little kid thing. What else? But we open up with a party at Sheena's place. So she is having a barbecue and she's doing her famous enchiladas.
Not the enchiladas again.
I know, right? I know, I know.
First of all, enchiladas are not a barbecue food.
They're really not. They're not. Yeah. Yeah. It would kind of, yeah. Not at all. That's not what I would be expecting when I'm going to a barbecue. But she was
No.
oh so proud. Oh, so proud of those enchiladas. So
Always is.
always, honey, always. And this is when we get to see Brittany, Sheena, and Janet kind of talking about what transpired at Brittany's shark party when the camera wasn't rolling. When apparently Zach said something horrendous about Janet's friend Jared. Mm.
I don't even remember who Jared is.
Me neither. So I was thinking, like, did I miss something? Like, I was watching the shark party and I'm thinking, and even on the flashback, it wasn't obvious. They were showing where Zach had his, his little blood makeup on his arm. Janet, we'll get to it, but she's notorious for just throwing stupid stuff out there to make it like a big deal when it's really not. But
no, my favorite Janet quote. Janet saying everyone should be a little nicer and not so wildly offensive. Is she for real?
she's so I mean,
like I watch a lot of reality TV.
Yeah.
I mean, her level of her being unself-aware is really a feat, because we see a lot of people that live in Delulu land. But I'm telling you, she's on a different level.
She is. She's textbook level. I mean, there should be a study on that.
I agree.
You're absolutely right. But she goes in to say that Zach says some pretty horrible things that she can't even repeat. I mean, and as best I got, it was between that and then Zach's confessional was he basically said, go F himself. I mean, what am I missing?
I don't know. Janet's looking for any reason to not make the topic about how horrible she is. So I feel like she'll say anything at this point.
Agree. Well, Zach, on the other hand, is over at Kristen and Luke's home, where he shares that whatever he had to say to Jared was taken out of context. And he says it was a hyperbole. He used it right. But he also said that Brittany yelled at him, basically saying, what'd you do? And that, Zach was again, here we go. I thought we were really good friends, and she tends to always take their side. A good friend would come out and be like, hey, I heard this. What happened? Or, are you okay? I mean, it is just off the rip. You must have done it. It's got to be you. I will go with whatever Janet says.
It's really bizarre how she is really, I think, the only person that doesn't see any dark side to Janet. And at this point, I feel like Zach should just expect that Brittany is always going to take Janet's side.
But I wonder what it is about Janet that she finds so wonderful. Because let's just say, even if she doesn't feel like it's directed towards her, if these people are really her friends, she's seen her be pretty awful to them. And at some point, when that, I'm lost at what it is about Janet that she's so drawn to, other than if she was with Jax for all those years. Her picker is not great. And so maybe there is some similar qualities there in Janet that she just can't help but be drawn to, like a little butterfly, like a moth to a flame. Just saying.
You know what? It's a good theory. I'm going to go with that. Because I can't find any other explanation.
I have no idea. Brittany has some issues. That's all I can say. She does. I mean, she does. I told you last week, I watch her and I get a little triggered. And I did again this week. I was like, girl. Anyway, back over at Sheena's party, Janet brings up the rumor again that Jason didn't wear his wedding ring in public and that Kristen was the one to share it. And Janet thinks that Kristen is just covering up the whole thing, so that the heat is off of Danny and everybody's talking about her husband. She's like, what are we not talking about Danny, who actually goes to bars and he's actually shady? Um, she was like, I do expect that kind of stuff out of Kristen's mouth, but I didn't expect it from Jasmine.
Nothing kills a rumor like continuing to talk about it.
Right. Because remember last week, they sat down, seemed completely almost unfazed by it. Like, Jason seemed relieved. Oh, that's all you got? Oh, and Janet was like, do you really believe that? And all was well. And then all of a sudden now, oh my God. And she's like, she was like, girl, you come after my husband. Good luck. You just put a target on your back, B. I'm like, okay.
She's always doing the most, and it's so ridiculous.
It is. It truly, truly is. All right. Well, they always love a good old beach day. And this episode's no different.
I just have to say, though, it is wild that, and I say this, I feel like every week, but we really are seeing a show where Kristen Doty is the most level-headed person
every time
on the show.
Every time.
Mm-hmm. It just blows my mind, and I'm so happy for her. And like, this show is like super successful. I mean, really, let's be honest. Like, her and Jax took like the lead. They were the ones that everyone like knew, and it was like their big comebacks to Bravo. Yeah. And I mean, like, she really took it and ran with it. And like, look at her.
She did, definitely. I mean, I think she took it. She ran with it. She reinvented herself. I mean, it's impressive. Like I said, I like her. I mean, she makes the most sense. And honey, on Vanderpump Rules, I would be like, catapult you off my screen, man.
I'm telling you, she was a level of insane that you don't see very often.
So unhinged, so crazy, so ridiculous. I would be like, girl, but it is nice to watch a person evolve that way. And I am totally, totally here for that. So,
Same.
Yeah. So, guys, the gang all meets up at the beach, and Kristen already knows it's going to be, a show, especially since Jasmine, Janet, and Jason will all be there together. Yeah. So initially it's going okay. It starts with Kristen. The beach day goes smoothly, starting with Kristen and Jasmine leaving the circle, separating themselves, because Jasmine just can't bear being near Janet and Jason. She hears that they want an apology. She's not here for it. She's not gonna. So, but they decide to play the game of truth or dare. And yeah.
Aren't we too old for that?
We really are too old for that. And, I read a lot of blog things. People are like, oh my God, I can't believe Sheena, I mean, we're at that age. It's like, girl, really? And Janet is gross for asking.
She was, but I also feel like, so like you're in like your 40s, like you're married, you have a child, and you're on national television talking about like your husband's like appendage. I just like I don't know. And it's like really, really weird.
It's very immature. And let's be clear, okay? So like if you're with your girlfriends and you laugh and giggle, maybe, but you're in a circle, your husband's sitting right there, other husbands. I mean, like, is that necessary? Y'all are grown. I mean,
they're also on a public beach, and there was like other people like very close, like on camera close.
That part. Brock took it very well, but I'm like, Sheena. At any rate, Joe, very lowbrow. Very lowbrow. But okay, but as the day goes on, Janet and Jason, keep talking about whether or not whether it was time to talk to Jasmine about the rumor. And it just seemed to be tearing poor Jason the freak up. Like, again, y'all, I'm still trying to decide how I feel about him. I think he's a nice guy. But I feel like he's not missing screws. He just, I don't, like, I'm still figuring it out. Like,
To
Is he
be
for
with
real?
her, something's missing.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like what am I missing? Because you can't be that naive, that or
I
can
don't think
you?
it's naive to buy. He's definitely submissive to her. Like she wears the pants, she runs the show. They probably went home and she was like, "Oh my god, they're definitely gonna use this for like the season and air it." And then she like probably worked herself up into a friggin' tizzy. And then what happens is she controls the narrative. So she's like, "We're gonna be mad about this, and we're gonna deal with this, and blah blah." And whatever boss Janet says goes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
again, like right, like he's so blinded by her because she's just can't stop talking about Jasmine. Janet, do you forget that you talk about everybody and talk about
yeah.
them 9.5 out of 10 times negatively? So
All
you
the
know
time.
what I hate someone that can dish it but can't take it.
Yep, yep, yep. And that is her to a T. I was like, good gracious. And the sad part for me was Jason was coming from a place of, and I'm sure it's because she put it in his head of like, I really, really love this girl. We're really good friends, and now I feel betrayed. Janet was really just kind of stirring stuff up, but you could almost really see the hurt on Jason's face. Well, not just see it. I mean, the man cried. Um,
Yeah, but again, like it would have been over. But Janet kept perpetuating the
right.
situation. So like again, like we saw like last week with like the dating situation where Jason was in Santa Barbara, he was like chill with it, whatever. And then he went to this like lunch and attacked Danny. Why?
Yeah,
Because it sounded just like Janet talking. The same thing
it,
here at the pool party. They were kind of like, "That's like such like a stupid rumor, like blah blah, like whatever." Da da da. She went home. She perseverated on it. It got her more angry. She riled Jason up, and now we have to talk about it again. And now we're all upset and da da da. You know what I mean? Like it's
yeah,
such an obvious pattern, and he obviously I don't want to say not man enough. That's so rude. But he's not like he's not strong enough to like hold his own and be
yeah,
like, listen, really, let's like move along. Me and Jasmine have been very, very close for like a long time. This is not some like earth shattering friend ruin. It's a stupid rumor. You guys live in LA. It's the land of rumors and crap talking.
mm-hmm,
Like,
yep,
move along. It was only
yeah.
made, it would have been a blip on our screen, but they made it a big thing.
They absolutely did. They absolutely did. And they decided at this point, all right, here's the time. And they go,
And they picked the wrong one.
listen, honey, now I tell you what, I was here for all of that. Cause I was
Yep.
like, I didn't know Jasmine had it in her like that.
Me either.
But they decided it's time, let's go talk to her. They go confront Jasmine. The thing that is crazy though, now she tried because she was like, "No, I'm talking to my friend Jason. Here's Janet. Just she just kept hopping in there, hopping in there. Oh my god, how could you? That was." She was like, "Girl," and she tried. And at that point, you would think that Jason could have stepped in and been like, "Hold on, babe. Let me finish this." No,
He's not going to talk back to his boss that way.
no. Well, then she got what she got because when she got frustrated, it got to she was like, Janet, you're a shitty ass friend. You've been a vibe killer. You're exhausting. You give Karen energy, and I'm
Facts.
fucking
All
done with it.
facts.
All facts. And I was like, bam, mic drop, boop, and everybody's like, ooh, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And what can you say to that? She was just like,
Right. And she didn't even give that energy to Danny that I think she was like really mad at or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
she didn't.
and it was and look at it. And that's how and again, like, I don't like Jasmine, but she can differentiate her situations. And like,
Absolutely.
Danny came at the situation differently. I don't think he should have apologized like 15 times, but it is what it is. The conversation went so different. But
It did.
Janet, you want to give that energy, Jasmine's going to meet you with that energy
She
and
gave
then
it
some.
right. That she did. And then all of a sudden, let's go, let's go. Like she couldn't take it anymore. I was like,
Couldn't handle it.
bye.
Couldn't handle it.
Could not handle it. I was like, that's what you get. So they decide, honey, to hightail it off. Brock does run to catch them before they go. Jason is really upset. He was like, we've been friends for 7 years, and he just looked so sad. And I was just like, you know what? Oh, but before he left, in his last attempt to, I guess, call himself trying to defend his wife, he calls Jasmine a snake in the grass, which is hence the title of the episode. And then, so when they left, Jasmine's telling the group, look, she heard the rumor from many people and she wasn't going to give an apology. She was like, because the rumor was baseless. She never believed it. And according to her, she wasn't really the one that even really repeated it. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, I
She
mean, you
didn't.
repeated it to Kristen.
Well, yeah. But
But
then
my
Kristen
thing is,
said, yeah.
what? No, go ahead.
Then Kristen said it didn't come from Jasmine. When they
Correct.
were at the, yeah.
Correct. My other thing was, again, right? Like, again, they're so mad at Jasmine, but now multiple people have said, oh, we heard this like years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it never came back in this group of friends to Jason and Janet. So, like, obviously they weren't like talking about it. And then, Kristen throws it out as like a defense mechanism to like her friends.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're making it this like huge thing and attacking Jasmine. Jasmine didn't make it a big deal, didn't say anything for years. I mean, obviously it got out somehow. But
I mean, they probably thought, yeah. But she didn't make it a thing.
Zach has a big mouth too.
Zach is messy, yeah. Yeah, he is.
But you know what? I'm here for him this season, and I was very anti-Zach last season.
Yeah, I told you I like Zach when we started out.
He has completely redeemed himself with me. I think he's great television.
I do too. I honestly do. So at this point, we now go over to a lunch that Brittany, Kristen, Zach, and Nia go to together. And Brittany, before she shared with them the date, but when they were on the beach, she was telling everybody she was dressed nice, Brittany, that is, because she had a hot date. And I know, right? I know. I was happy for her. And so she did go, in fact, on this date. And so she was telling them about the guy she went on a date with. She was saying, how different he was from Jax. He was a father and, he was really nice to her. She was like, the fact that I'm so like giggly over a good morning text when it took like forever for me to even get that from Jax, which is so sad. Honestly, one wouldn't think that she would have had low self-esteem, but she must have. Or maybe she was... Yeah. Listen,
Oh, she definitely did. Because, I mean, look at, like, not for nothing. She came on our screens however long ago. She was beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful.
And not that she's, like, not pretty now, but, like, all this work that is unnecessary work she's had done.
Unnecessary, yeah.
It just, I feel like, ties into that like low self-esteem that obviously he made her have.
Well, remember when they opened up season 1 and she had the thing wrapped around her head when she'd gotten the jaw, I think fat out of it. And the
whole first season, remember her mouth was always in like a frown.
Yeah,
it still peeps out sometimes this season, but it's gotten a lot better.
Oh yeah. So when you go through those links to change the way you look, it's because, and I believe, Kristen has said he's talked about her looks. Oh
yeah, all the time. We've seen it.
So there's that. So finally we see Brittany happy about a guy, which is nice. And then the group discusses the beach day. And Zach and Kristen both agree that they're confused about why all of a sudden now Jason and Janet want to make this big deal. When they were at the shark party, they were laughing about it. Wasn't a big deal. And then let's see. Well, but previously though, Janet has said it became more serious for her when she told her mom about the wedding ring rumor and how upset she became. And that's when Janet realized it wasn't something that she wanted to let go,
Yeah. And Janet doesn't understand why Kristen just can't apologize. I'm like, girl, have we ever seen Janet apologize for anything? And I feel like we've seen Kristen apologize a bunch of times.
She surely has. Certainly has.
Delusional, not self-aware. It's like, it's exhausting.
It is. It's gross. And you know what? Like, the disdain that people have for Janet. I mean, I get it, but it's like it gets worse and worse and worse each episode. I'm like, good gracious.
I don't think the Bravo universe has been this unified against something in a very long time.
Agreed, because usually like everybody has their few little fan base that fight for them. No.
She doesn't have it anywhere.
No, unanimously, we all think you're a horrible person. Real tea. So then Zach takes the opportunity to turn the conversation to Brittany about how he's feeling about their friendship. He's upset that his friend for years, and I mean, they have been friends. I mean, like he said, he came there. She was the first person that he knew. Like, he considered her family. And
they knew each other from Kentucky. I mean, like, they've been friends like forever. But I also feel bad because at some point you need to realize, like, it's landing on deaf ears.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times is he going to have this heartfelt conversation and it go nowhere? Brittany
You're right.
Regurgitates the same thing back and then doesn't.
And I do it. No, it's like, oh, no, I love all of y'all. I would do the same thing for you, Zach. But she doesn't and hasn't.
No.
So words are one thing. Actions are clearly another. And, even Kristen was like, we talked about that when he was saying it, she was like, I would definitely feel some type of way if my friend, it's a two-way thing and my friend off the top thinks, well, what did you do? Like, it had to be you. You know what I mean? So I was like.
Yeah, when Brittany's like, I don't understand, like, why people, like, hate Janet, like, blah, 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 like, whatever. I'm, like, thinking to myself, I'm like, and, like, she doesn't see her as, like, being drama. And I'm like, girl, has that Botox gone to, like, your brain? Like, what? like, what? In what world are you living in that you don't think that Janet is drama?
You got me. Because I'm telling you, everywhere she goes is like landmines. And I mean, she doesn't see that. She doesn't want to see that.
She's choosing not to see it the same way that she chose not to see that Jax was an abomination of a human.
And you know what's so bad, particularly for Zach, is all the times that Jax, had her, feeling some type of way, treated her horribly. It was Zach that she picked up the phone with. It was Zach that she went to. Zach had her back 1,000%, which is why, of course, he doesn't want her to be with Jax. He doesn't think she should be talking to him, texting with him, whatever. And, it's just glazed over that. Like, you were there for me in my lowest point. But somehow Janet's the better friend. Okay.
If the gays are one thing, they are ride or dies.
I agree. I completely agree. That is true, honey. Yeah. So she's made a big mistake.
And she's it's Brittany's loss.
It's totally Brittany's loss, and I really hope Zach stops trying to get her to see it and moves right along. Because really, it's making me honestly not like Brittany. You know what I mean?
No, I completely agree, and I also feel like even like the little bit of like their lives that we do see in like 1.5 seasons, Zach has much better friends in this friend group than Brittany. Like, Kristen's a better friend to him.
Oh,
Nia's a better friend to him.
Oh, big time.
I don't like Jasmine's a better friend to him. I don't.
Yes.
And he just keeps vying, and it's sad for Brittany's, whatever, accepts their friendship again, and it's just like not happening.
Mm-mm. I know. I guess he just feels like, because, like you said, they were friends in Kentucky, and like he sees her like he said, like his family, like who he has there, and but people evolve. I really feel like Brittany has changed. I mean, she's very California now. She doesn't want to go back to Kentucky, and I think she's just wants to be so accepted in that group. She's gonna attach herself to who she thinks is the strongest voice.
Janet.
Listen, apparently.
I mean, I don't know. You think that this friend group like revolves around Janet?
I I don't think so. But for some reason, Brittany, I mean, no, it would be to me, like, because Kristen was like, me and you were good friends, but like, she's also getting in the way of our friendship too, which she said that, which is true. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's.
Eventually, though, Brittany's going to be on her own island because Kristen and Janet have issues. Jasmine and Janet have issues.
Mm-hmm.
Zach and Janet have issues.
Yep.
Nia and Janet have issues.
Yep.
Like, girl, you're going to be by yourself. You, Janet, and Jason, have fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That'll be good to me. Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. So, like basically Joey said, Brittany's like, oh no, it's not true. And we all know it is. So anyway, back at Jason and Janet's. Janet shares how extremely hurtful it was what Jasmine said and all the things that she called her at the beach, which were warranted.
Should have called her more.
She could have gone right. She could have gone lower. She spared you, ma'am. She spared you.
And you know what? I wish she had.
I know. What I thought was so crazy. I mean, okay, so like, she talks about how they've been close for like 7 years and all this. You see the pictures in the flashback. But when she tried to act like it was affecting her baby, I was like, girl. Joe.
You know what? I mean, she, at this point, well, I mean, not like during filming, but I mean, she already knew she was like super hated from season 1. So like, I mean, I guess maybe she's trying to do anything to like get some sense of compassion, but it's just really just not working.
It's not landing at all. It is actually just doing the opposite. So, but she says that, obviously Jasmine doesn't have the same care for her that she has for her, and it's really sad. Y'all, but here's the thing. At this point, Jax FaceTimes Jason. And again, Joey, I legit, and we'll get through. I mean, I don't have a whole, we have some more, but not a ton. But Jax, honestly, it's scary to me. He is. I mean, so when he FaceTimes Jason, he's basically saying, look, he's doing really well in there, and now he understands where his anger comes from and all this stuff. And now he knows
he can
that
turn on the tears.
Gosh, Joey, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm getting
just psychotic. Like a real actor.
That or a psycho, like psychotic or a sociopath. I mean, I am so serious. I told you I watch these shows because I love to analyze people. And I'm watching a madman. I'm like, oh my God, I'm scared. Like, I'm a little scared for Brittany.
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely a sociopath. He has no feelings about hurting people.
None. No, it's all about him. There's no remorse.
No.
Those tears and even the things that he say, they're very, very fake because he can turn it on and turn it off in like a hot second.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow.
And yet Jason, who's like the lawyer, is he a lawyer?
He is a lawyer.
Buys like right into this. Like, aren't you supposed to be able to like read people?
You should be able to.
Like, I'm so confused.
He was not only buying it, I mean, he was touched like, oh, this is the first time I've heard Jax take accountability. Because he was like, okay, well, if you really want to do something, Brittany has brought up the whole mortgage thing. And he was like, well, you know what? I talked to my manager and I'm going to give up my portion of the podcast money. And that's going to help Brittany pay for the mortgage. And then, like, first of all, I've never even seen their podcast.
Me either. To be honest, I don't like either of them enough.
I don't either. I would not be interested in any. No, not at all. Not at all. No. And I used to like Brittany, but I told you I am Southern. I'm from North Carolina, y'all, but I cannot stand a really thick Southern accent. It is. I don't. And I watch Southern Charm. Well, you know what? It's like I love British accents, but it depends on what part of England you're from. I have this weird thing. I don't know. God. It's crazy. Listen, And when something really annoys me, because you hear me on the episode or on the different episodes mimicking Brittany, like, y'all this, okay, well, I love y'all. I do that because it annoys me so much. From Kentucky, there's nothing she can do about it. Shout out to Kentucky, by the way. It's a Sherry thing. It's a quirk, y'all. It's a quirk. I really am Southern, though. I'm born and bred in North Carolina, honey. Listen. But anyway.
North Carolina maybe is like the cusp of like the Southern accent.
I think so, because my husband is a New Yorker and he was all happy, like, oh, I have me a Southern girl. And he was like disappointed. He was like, you really don't hear your accent that well. I'm like, it's there. It pops out every now and again.
It pops out every now and then. That's what it is.
It does. It definitely does. It does. But, he's like, his family originated in South Carolina, and that's a whole South Carolina. It's this South Carolina, so it's a little further south. So yeah, I guess we're on the cusp. I don't know. Anyway, shout out to North Carolinians, South Carolinians, Southern, all Southerners. You slide in the comments. Y'all can fight me, okay?
Whatever. I'll be up in here repping the Northeast.
There you go. Yeah, you got Connecticut over here. You got North Carolina over here. So
we have a lot going on. We have Boston, New York, and some really great casinos.
You do. I have a question for you when we wrap this up too. Because I saw something you posted, and it has nothing to do with this, y'all. So you gotta wait till the end so I can ask. I want to know.
I know. You're going on like a tangent again.
Yes. Oh, I know. We have those moments. All right. Well, at this point, we find out that Brittany has decided to move back into their home, even though she has 2.5 months that she's paid for on her other rental, which I found out was an Airbnb. But girl,
and like you just got there 2 weeks ago. Who wants to move that much?
You know what I mean? And then like you knew that there was an issue with the mortgage. Now, granted, he said, okay, so you can have the podcast proceeds, but she knew better than that. My thing was, it's so stupid. But like you said, though, that's the home that Cruz was in, where he was comfortable. I suppose that's what she wanted. She had her mama there to help her and all that. Okay. But first things first, she wants to cover the cameras. Because, when he did get out, which, like I said, this is the weirdest rehab I've ever heard of in my whole life.
Yeah, he was just like able to like go to the house and like get clothes, and he has his cell phone like rage texting. Yep. I don't know what's going on.
Listen, and if he had an issue with substances, he could have went and hoarded up on his stash. I mean, like who does that?
And do you notice in every FaceTime he's wearing the same outfit?
Mm-hmm.
So you went to get clothes, but you're only wearing the same outfit.
Yeah. This man, like I said, when I say scary, trust me, y'all, he's scary. She's busying herself with, trying to cover the cameras back up or whatever. Settling in, and she then decides to talk to her sister-in-law, Jackson's sister, Jenny. And she's asking, had she heard about the mortgage and had she heard about things? And then we find out her wedding rings are missing.
Whoa.
Joey.
Yeah. That is something. And it made me think like, all right, maybe there's like more going on like than we're seeing. Cause like you guys are making money. I mean, maybe like the bar isn't making money because it's always empty every time we see it.
Yeah, it
but
is.
You just said that, and it's honestly it's like one of the only places that we didn't go when I was in LA like last time because I just again like I didn't care.
You weren't interested, yeah.
But apparently this podcast is like super successful. You're getting a lot of money from this like show. You have, I'm sure, tons of different deals, whatever. You're not paying your mortgage. Your wife's jewelry is missing. Like, that is like way bigger than like the stuff that we're talking about.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, like I guarantee you within some time, some things are going to start coming out because yeah. And God forbid. And I mean, I'm assuming she has moved on somewhat, whatever. But I don't know. There's definitely more to that story. I mean, they didn't just get it one
100%.
way. Yeah. So while she is talking to her sister-in-law, production comes up to her and shows her that Jax had just texted her and said, make sure you get this on film. I can hear everything. It's childish behavior. And she's like, oh my God, does he have this house bug? And the producer's like, how else would he know?
Because their inside cameras don't record sound.
Mm-hmm.
Super creepy. And the fact, though, that it was a big enough deal, which it is a big enough deal, to break the fourth wall, which we know Bravo doesn't really enjoy doing.
I know.
Like, I was like, whoa. And like your text, so again, he's in rehab, texting the producer of the show.
Listen, right?
About
Watching
what
her
Brittany's
like
talking
that.
about. Like, why are you not in therapy? You're just in what? Just sitting there listening to Brittany talk about you? Like, what?
That, you know what? Right. And so like where are your therapists? Where, I mean, like, good gracious. I mean, you know what I mean? That's so unhealthy.
I don't know, but we need the name of this place because it should be investigated.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do some research. I like y'all. I'm gonna try to report back next week. I'm gonna put my sleuth hat on. I'm gonna figure it out because really?
Yeah, really.
So, yeah. But you know what? Here's the thing, and that's pretty much how it ended, y'all. But here's the thing that bothered me a little bit. Was it just me, or did you feel like Brittany didn't seem all that taken aback? Or I mean, she did and she didn't, but it was kind of like, oh my God.
Well, I mean, not even that. What was more shocking to me was when she was talking to her mom and said that, first of all, shocked. Like, she hasn't gotten, Jack said he'll give me all the podcast money, but she hasn't seen any money or anything. And that their house is already in like a foreclosure.
That's right. I forgot that part, Joey. Yeah, thank you.
And she kind of said it like, I don't know, kind of like nonchalantly. Mind you, she just said that she's moving back into this house. That's in foreclosure. And then I thought to myself, see, this is why, Jason, you must be a horrible like lawyer because you bought that sob story. And like the house is in foreclosure and Jax is just gonna be in his bachelor pad next to Schwartz just vibing. Yes. And Brittany has their kid full time in this home that's in foreclosure with a rental house she can't do anything with like right now. Like, yep. And I mean, like, I don't know. He is a master manipulator. Like, we don't see very often. No. It is just insane. And again, though, I have to go back to the thing I always say: where is the nanny? Because stop talking about your husband in front of your child.
True. That is true. That is true. That is true. You know what? You're right, Joey. Because, I mean, she's talking to the aunt, like loudly, the mom, and then Cruz is right there. Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. So, y'all... you have to weigh in. Please slide in the comments and, let us know. Like, what was your biggest takeaway? Some people, was it Sheena's crazy admission to her and Brock's activity? Dumb, but some people are like, that's the heavy thing. Was it the Jasmine blow up on Janet?
100% the highlight of the episode.
Agreed. That was mine. Or, Jax, like fake FaceTime, and then the knowledge that we find out that the house is in foreclosure. Now, we said last week, honey, if he hadn't paid since May, and we're now in August, I mean, that was an easy prediction, right?
At $14,000 a month.
Child, listen, but she doesn't seem phased, honey. Brittany must have the bag somewhere, but woo. And then we said too, what was the most heinous thing was that he encouraged her to move in the house, full well knowing. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking, you are the lowest of the low. You really are. You really are.
She must have that money though, because remember like when Jax was on House of Villains and he said, here he is like playing for like what was it, like $200,000 or something.
Yeah.
He's like, but my wife, like, she making money on these endorsements. Like he said, like what, like over $1 million.
Oh yeah.
And I'm
I've
like,
seen Britney on stuff though a lot, so I
I feel
have
like everywhere I look, if I'm being honest.
everywhere. Yeah, so she's making that paper. So yeah, But I mean, even with that, even if she has it like that, who in the world wants a home that goes into foreclosure? First of all, your credit. I mean, that's so just wrong on so many levels. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all slide in the comments and let us know what you thought about this episode of The Valley. Now, Joey, quick thing. This weekend, I watched a documentary about Karen Reed. Listen.
It's literally all I talk about, all I think about.
I saw you post about it, and well, that's what made me want to watch it, because I was like, who's Karen Reed? And Ryan was like, you don't know? I was like, no. Found the doc and watched it, and I was like, whoa. I was like glued to the TV. Okay.
Yeah. My thing right here is that, like, to any of our viewers that don't know who Karen Reed is, Google it and do your research, because I firmly believe the entire world should be watching this court case.
Yeah.
Because my biggest takeaway is, and everyone at work, I have like people at work now talking about it. I talk about it to all my friends. I'm like texting them. They're like, will you stop? I'm like, no, I will not stop. You have to pay attention. Because I'm like, if this can happen to her, it can happen to anybody. Mm-hmm. And like, everyone, like, you really believe that all these people are framing her for a murder? Yes, I do. I 110% do. And she's very, very fortunate that she has the means to fight this.
With that
not once, attorney, but twice.
Twice, yeah. Yeah. Because mistrial first, and now we're back. But her attorney is kick butt, though. I mean.
Wait until you catch up. Go on social media and catch up on, like, this trial.
Okay.
She has a new attorney on board, this Robert Leslie. He is so smart. He is so good. I mean, it is just unbelievable that anyone out there could think that she's guilty. You must be watching this trial with headphones and a blindfold on, because there's just no way innocent people, like, don't rehome their dog, redo their basement, sell their house, destroy their cell phones, delete text messages. Like, Karen Reed didn't do any of that.
No, she didn't.
And I'm sorry, like, I don't know. You don't also get hit by a car going 24 miles an hour with no bruising and no broken bones. No. Like, I can't get over it. It's insane. It's insane. The lead investigator was fired after the first trial. I mean, the corruption, like, runs deep. Those of you that don't even know, the judge, so we have the same judge from trial 1 and trial 2, who's also connected to the family of the house where his body was found. They referred to her in a text message. One of the kids referred to her in a text message as Auntie Bev. They rent her beach house in the Cape in, like, the summer. I mean, like, the corruption runs so deep. It's a very small town, Canton, Massachusetts. Everybody knows everybody. I mean, it is insane. But again, I always go down to, like, the main thing, right? If you hit somebody with a car, you're not charged with first-degree murder. It's vehicular homicide. Right. They charged her with first-degree murder because they think she's going to take a plea deal. Her life's on the line. They never thought in a million years she was going to fight this. So now she's on trial for first-degree murder from hitting somebody allegedly hit somebody with a car. She fights it. They get a mistrial, a hung jury, whatever. Again, who knows the truth? It's all over Reddit and social media. They planted jurors. What's really interesting is one of her jurors from her first trial joined her defense team this trial.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
That speaks volumes.
Huge. Yeah, it does.
So, like, it is just so, it's so corrupt. It's so bad. This poor woman, she did not hit him with her car. She had nothing to do with it. And I mean, they framed her, man, something serious.
I would have thought the snowplow guy, the Google search. I mean, all of those. This is the first case, so I've got to catch up on the second. But
oh my God, it has been, believe it or not, a bigger circus than the first trial. And the prosecution closed their case like 2 weeks ago. The defense has been on. I think we're in like week 2 of like the defense. They did not call the lead investigator. What? They did not call Brian Albert, whose front lawn the body was found on. Mm-hmm. They did not call Matt McCabe, who was Jen McCabe's husband, who they were in this group text where they said, how long tell them the guy did not go in the house. If John never went in the house, you wouldn't have to tell people to say that. It would just be the story.
Right.
I mean, like, it is just, we have seen video footage of the first responders out there with leaf blowers in like the snow.
Yep.
Didn't find any taillight pieces, but guess what? After Canton PD had that car in their possession, all of a sudden, like 80 pieces of taillight in the front yard.
Yep.
It was snow on the ground. Taillight is red. What do you mean?
I know. And they saw the guy behind her car, and I was like, ooh.
We had a Dighton police officer on yesterday. So Dighton is where Karen's parents live, which is where she drove. So Proctor and the Canton PD said, hey, we're going to go pick up this car. You know, want to give you the heads up. Like, we're going to be in like your like neighborhood. I guess it's like, you know, common courtesy. So this police officer went out there to help like facilitate whatever. He comes back. He writes a full report about them taking the car. On the stand yesterday, it's the first police officer we had that's not from Canton, not from Boston, not connected to anybody. He says, I noted in my report the taillight, you know, had a crack and like a small piece missing, blah, blah, whatever. They pull up the picture from the like evidence room. Her whole taillight is smashed out. It's gone. Yep. And they're like, well, did it look like this? He goes, absolutely not. That thing is destroyed. I saw a cracked taillight with like a piece missing.
Oh.
What are we doing here? And I was like, imagine being like a Massachusetts taxpayer and this is what they're spending your hard-earned money on.
You're right. It's ridiculous.
They gave this company, Aperture, this like accident reconstructionist, $400,000. The man knew nothing. He was so embarrassed by the defense when he was cross-examined on like the stand. $400,000. He went out and bought a Lexus just like Karen's to do like reenactments with like blue paint. He like had it at like 2 miles an hour, like drive by him and hit his arm, and he was like, "Oh, look at it, we're cut." Like, no.
Wow.
No.
That's craziness.
Girl, I could talk Karen Reed for days.
I know, because I was like, well, like I said, you're the reason I looked for it. I Googled it, then I found the documentary. I'm like, I'm totally watching it. My husband watched. And it was actually on the news before I came up so that we could record. But, honey, I'm going to have to catch up. So where do you watch it to?
So I'm going to shout out my girl on TikTok. You're going to follow. Her name's Mrs. Jefferson Says.
Okay.
She recaps day by day. And she like, you know, like dumbs down a lot of like their like legal like mumbo jumbo. She's so funny. And she just tells it like it is. Nurse Kim's like another really good one.
Okay.
I can't even think of, there's so many I watch. I mean, it is just, it's literally insane. I can't believe it's like real. You couldn't write this.
Wow.
I mean, it is, I'm so passionate about it, in case you can't tell. It's been...
No, I can totally tell.
It's been like over 2 years of my life. I've been following this like so hardcore. Because again, I just can't fathom. If that happened to me, I wouldn't have the money to defend myself like this. I'd be in jail.
Yeah. I mean, and it does happen.
And if it happened to her, it could happen to anybody. And everybody, all eyes should be on this trial.
Agree. All right, y'all. Yeah.
That's my PSA.
There you go. Check out the Karen Reed trial. Get up to date and follow that. And hashtag free Karen Reed, or
that's right,
justice for Karen Reed.
That's better. Right.
So, all right. Well, on that note, we, as always, thank you for tuning in. We will be back next week for episode 9 of The Valley and whatever else we decide to chat about. So you got to come back to find out just what that is. All right.
Next week, though, big week. Miami comes back.
Yes, that's right. All right. So yes, Miami. We will be adding that to the lineup. I'll be put on the community tab when we will be dropping that. And me and Joey have to discuss that. But yes, we'll be adding that. So stay tuned for that too. All right, guys. Again, as always, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.